has been a trouble. I mean, for all of us,
Yeah.
These past 2 and 3 weeks, it's been a challenge for everyone.
Yeah, it's been a real challenge.
To cope. Yeah, that's true. Definitely. It's 5. Just let's give a bit like 5 minutes just to see anyone who's going to be joining the call so we can start. Otherwise, how has been the week?
Yeah, the week has been okay. Besides this challenge with electricity, and even when it's down somewhere, the network is very bad. You can't really do anything that's productive. So, yeah, we've been changing a lot of meetings, or it goes down in the middle of a meeting, and our laptops can't save a lot of power for a long time. So you start struggling and all that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's really a challenge. I remember last week when I had my webinar, I used my phone as a hotspot. So I started very well, and then all of a sudden, the connection was gone.
Yeah, it just goes.
So I didn't even know that I wasn't able to, convey or share my message. It's just long after that I realized that everybody on the call was
no longer there.
But in reality, it was me. It was my phone because I was using the phone as a hotspot. Hi, Sayu.
Hi, Didier.
How are you?
Hi, Maya.
Hi, Sayu. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, thanks.
So, without further ado, I think we're going to start this session. What's going to happen is
I'm good. Are you?
I will go through. Can you hear me, Sayu? Can you hear me, Sayu?
Okay.
Sayu, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. So you just going to unmute yourself. Yeah, all of you can unmute yourself. Yes. So what I was trying to say is this session will be as a webinar. So I'm going to present slides, and when I'm done with my presentation, then I will open up for questions. Okay. So firstly and foremost, I want to thank you everybody for taking some time off of your busy schedule today to attend this webinar. It's not going to be a long webinar, but it's just an hour. And I think the webinar is a follow-up pretty much on the webinar that I had last week about setting and achieving your goals. So today we'll be talking about the vision board. And I'm sure some of you have heard about a vision board, what it is a vision board. So first and foremost, I'm just going to put the slide, and I want you to just raise your hands just to show me that you're actually able to see the slide. Okay, so I'm going to go in presenting mode. Presenting. Perfect. Let me know when you can see the slide so I can start. Or you can say, can you see the slide now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
perfect.
we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I can.
Perfect. Yeah. Just give me. Let me just do this. I need to move to a quieter room because I was babysitting with my son. So just give me 2 minutes. Let me just move to a quiet room. Okay, so we will start now. So before we start, I'll just do the following. I need to switch off my camera, okay? Okay, just confirm that you can see the slide again, please.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes,
perfect.
I can.
So today I am so excited to talk about the topic of the vision board. And I'm sure you have heard, like I've said, about a vision board, but probably you did not pay attention to it. Just as a recap, last week we discussed setting and achieving the goals, why it's so critical to have goals in life, because if you don't have goals, basically, you just running around like a handless chicken without knowing where you're heading. So goals are important because goals are a realization of your dream. So if you have a dream or if you don't have a dream, it's going to be a challenge to have a goal. So you need firstly to have a dream, a purpose, and then you can now break it down into goals. How are you going to achieve your purpose? So that's the most important exercise that every human being need to be doing, because it's been shown, there's been a lot of study that have shown that, for instance, there was a study that was performed by Harvard Business School. They find that the people who have goals but are not written are 10 times, perform 10 times and achieve 10 times their goals than those who do not have goal, even they are not written. So I think somebody joined the call. I don't know who it is, but anyway, let's carry on. So those who did not have goal not written, but not even in their mind, did not achieve anything. So those who had goals written perform 3 times better than those who actually had goals but not written. So they basically perform 20 times better. So it's quite important that you have goals, because goals are just like your GPS that takes you in any place you want to be heading. So today, the vision board is one of the tools that help you to make your goal a reality. So I am going to start by presenting myself. My name is Didier Mbayo. For some of you, you know me very well. So I'm Didier Mbayo, and I am a certified coach from the John Maxwell Academy, and I'm the owner and founder of a company called Lead Influence. And I'm very passionate about helping people in area of personal development and leadership to become a better version of themselves, so they can bring changes, and so they can transform their life, they can achieve anything that they've set their mind into. Just a minute, I just want to check who exactly is. Okay, perfect. So we have quite a number of people. Okay, let me go back to presentation. Okay. So the power of visualization. Okay. Visualization. Sorry. Can you please unmute yourself? There is a lot of noise in the background. Can you please unmute yourself? Yeah. Hello, can you please unmute yourself? Whoever has joined the call, can you please unmute yourself? There is a lot of noise in the background, please. So visualization is one of the most powerful mind exercise you can do. In the popular book, The Secret, there is a book that is called The Secret. The Secret basically says visualization is described as powerful frequency that you emit out into the universe. And therefore, you contribute to the law of attraction. So what happened as individual, we every day visualize either good or bad things. So whatever you visualize, you're going to attract it in your life. And if you look at yourself today, wherever you are in life today is a result of the visualization, the image that you have held about who you are. So it's very important to understand what we're talking about today, because the vision board is actually a tool that allows you to hold the right image about your dream, about your goal. So it's crucial that you have a vision board, because whenever you set your mind into and you can see it, you can feel it always materialize into the physical realm. I know most of you, it's an idea that sounds unfamiliar, but life and things that set you to success are usually things that are unfamiliar. So you need to get used to it. You need to understand, for you to experience success, you need to use uncommon and unfamiliar rules. And everything that we're going through since we started last week on the first webinar, it's about things that you have maybe never done. So you need to be familiar with that idea. So whenever you focus your mind, it starts expanding. And when you expand on that, you start attracting the resource, the people, and the things that will make your dream and goal become a reality. The law of attraction is the ability to attract into our lives whatever we are focusing on. In other words, all thought turn into things eventually. If you focus on negative, doom and gloom, you will remain under that cloud. And I'm sure in your life you have experienced that, because as some of you have attended my class about the mastermind class that we have on Think and Grow Rich, we talk about the power of thought. Thought are things. You create what you think. And as a human being, you are three parts. You have your thinking, you have your feeling, and it turns into action, and action turns into result. So whatever you feed your mind, if you keep feeding your mind, having the image of a failure, having an image of someone that is not successful, having an image of someone that is unwanted, this is what exactly going to translate into your life. Because as I have explained in many instances, you have, as a human being, you have a conscious mind and you have a subconscious mind. So your conscious mind is where you do your thinking, where you reject ideas. Your subconscious mind is where you do not have the ability to reject or think. You just accept things as they are. And unfortunately, 95% of what we do is directed by our subconscious mind. So we need to give instruction to our subconscious mind about the things that we want to see happening in the physical realm in our lives. So therefore, visualization, using a vision board, is one of the tools that help the subconscious mind to take instruction and make it a reality in the physical realm. Okay. If you focus on positive thought and have goals that you aim to achieve, you will find a way to achieve them. And that, we have seen that. We have had many instances where we had such a focus on doing something that was critical in our lifetime, and we managed to do it. Because the more you focus on something, you visualize it as done. And it always happens in the physical realm, and you see the result. I'm sure when we finish this webinar, more of you will probably relate to what I'm saying and share their own experience. Can you guys think of an instance when this statement rang true? The following statement is: once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. I'm sure you've heard that statement. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. For those who are Christian, for those who are not Christian, who belong to other religion, it's a reality. Because once you make a decision, God orchestrates the resource, the people, and the circumstances to make your dream happen. Because here we just operate in the area of faith. And God, again, I have to bring it back, work in terms of rules that are unfamiliar. God does not work according to the rules that have been set by human beings. God has his own way of doing things. So we need to be familiar with the way God operates. So our mind needs to be, accustomed to unfamiliar rules and different set of rules. If you have been having trouble, think about the last time you had a bad day, and all that you could think about was how crappy and horrible everything was. Did regular occurrence seem even worse than usual? Did issue that normally wouldn't affect your mood suddenly seem overwhelming? There is an interesting book called The Magic of Thinking Big. That book basically says that we have a choice every day to feed our mind with positive or negative thought. So the thoughts that we feed our mind will determine how our day will unfold. So it's critical that you choose the right thought. I always tell the people that I coach that there is no in between positive or negative. You either positive or negative. So whatever you choose, there are consequences, you will get the result. Once you can accept the idea that negative thought can create negative energy, it's not a big leap to entertain the idea that positive thinking can create positive energy. If you could attract one thing, what would it be? And I want you to think about it, because it's easy for people to slide, to go back to think of the worst case scenario in their life. And unfortunately, whatever you think, you will attract it. So you have the ability, God has given us the ability to choose. We have the choice here. Whatever we want to feed our mind, we will get it. If you feed your mind with poverty, you feed your mind with fear, you will get it. There is no way you can't get it. If you feed your mind with positive thought about wealth, about you achieving your dream, your goal, you will definitely achieve it. Because the image that you hold about yourself will be reflected in the outside world. Our attitude and belief create a magnet to attract events, circumstances, and opportunity to live out those attitude and belief. One of the important things when I discussed last week about setting and achieving goals, when you have set the goal, you have written those goals, you now need to align your belief, your action to your goal, which is the toughest part, because it's easy to write down things. Now you need to align the belief and your actions. Belief means whatever you think, you need to think in alignment with your goal. And your actions need to be aligned with your goal. You can't say that I as a goal, I want to make 1 million rand by end of this year with my company. But then in the action, the word that come out from your mouth are word of lack, word of poverty, that I have challenge, I don't have money, I don't know how am I going to do. Of course, you are, your efforts are counterproductive. You're not going to reach that goal because your actions are not aligned with the goal. You have to confess. If you say, I want to get 1 million, you have to confess every day that I am financially challenged, but I am moving toward my goal. I'm creating opportunity that will help me to make the money that I need to have before the end of the year. So the wording, the language, the action need to be aligned. You need to be doing things every day that will get you closer to your goal. Creating a vision board is a tool that helps you narrow down your greatest dream and present them in a way that consistently reminds you of your life goal. Because when you have a vision board, you can see it every day. It creates a feeling and it creates a sense of confidence that I am achieving my goal. So it's good to see it. And I know for people who work for big organizations, when they have a big goal, they usually put the goal everywhere in the office, even in the subsidiary. They put in a big kind of vision board what they are shooting for, because they want to remind the employee that this is the goal. And the more the employees start looking at the goal, they start believing that it can be done. Vision boards force you to consider and examine your dream, goals, and desire, and create a focus around the most important one. Because if you don't have a vision board, what happens is you, unfortunately, like I've said in the beginning, you think through image. That's how human beings operate, you know. So anytime you have a picture of something bad happening, you also start feeling it in your body. And of course, the result will be a negative action that will not probably help you to move toward your goals. So we think through image. So it's important that the image that we hold are the right image. This process of choosing what to put on your board is simple, yet extremely meaningful. Once you have identified your wish or desire, you've got to find the image that represents them. And I know, like I've said, many people always have this idea of, okay, so what happens if somebody walk in my room now and see this vision board with my dream car being a Porsche, or my dream house being this, maybe they will laugh at me. No, it's your life that we're talking about. You need to be, meticulous when it comes to your life. Make sure that you take the right actions. You can only achieve the things that you believe in. And for you to believe those things, you have to see them. Now, for you to be able to have a proper vision board, you need to have a clear idea in terms of what you want. What is it that you want? What do you need? What do you value? And how do you want to feel when those things become a reality? So the vision board will help you, because once you have written the goal, now you can put the picture that illustrates each one of your goals. And depending on the area that you have selected in terms of your goal, it can be relationship, it can be finance, it can be career, it can be business, it can be health. So depending on the goal that you have set, put the right picture. Our brain is an amazing and incredibly complex machine that is geared toward making us successful with every action we take. In fact, when we imagine ourselves preparing for an activity, our brain actually runs through the process and sends signal to the rest of the body to complete the action. This is what most of the athletes do. They picture themselves that I have achieved, I have won this competition. And that's when the magic happens, because you need to see yourself already in possession. There is a good chapter in the book of Napoleon Hill, Faith. You have to see yourself in possession of your dream and goal. And the only way to do that is through a vision board. Consider what happens when you are anxious about something. You are visualizing the worst case scenario, and it makes your whole body feel awful. So you have to choose what do you want to hold as an image about you. While it's great to put a picture of dream cities, dream home, and other material possessions, it's equally as important to focus on feelings. So those pictures that you put there, you have to travel far away in the future, seeing yourself achieving those things. Because if you can't see yourself achieving those things, it's gonna be difficult to make it a reality in the physical realm. So you need to go and when you see that picture of you driving the Porsche, you have to experience the feeling of driving that Porsche. And I will encourage you, go to a dealership, ask them for a test drive. You don't need to pay anything for it. Or if it's your dream home, go and visit a house, take pictures. And then you can feel how it is if I have this in my possession. Because unfortunately, most of us, from our younger age, we used to imagine things. And imagination is the workshop of your mind. Anything that we have today on this earth is a result of imagination. Somebody imagine one day that we will need a vehicle, so we will not have to walk long distance. Somebody one day imagine that we shouldn't be sitting in a phone booth. We need to have cell phone. So somebody imagined those things. So they had to visualize. They had to go far and see in the future themselves having those things. So that's why the vision board is so powerful. So the goal of creating a vision board is to bring everything on it into your life. And it's a best way to give instruction to your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind only works through instruction. In my webinar last week, I said I actually emphasized the importance of doing daily self-affirmation, because the daily self-affirmation is a way of instructing the subconscious mind that this is what I am shooting for. And visualizing it through a vision board, it's also a great way to re-emphasize to the subconscious mind, this is what I want, these are my goals. And you have to feel it, put yourself in that feeling where you see yourself really having those things. I know it's gonna sound weird when you start doing that, but over the time, the more you do it, you're gonna start feeling it. So your vision board should focus on feeling, not just material things. I mean, I've just said that because if you just look at those pictures just like randomly, it's not going to help you. You have to look at those pictures and think about you doing those, having those things, and how your life will become better. I don't know, there is some noise in the background. Can you please unmute yourself? Now, there is this phenomenon that they call the bother mind off. So it's basically a type of cognitive bias your mind creates to confirm whatever information you believe as truth. Once you create a space for what you want to believe, your brain will start looking for those things in the world around you that will draw it toward you and making it a reality. It's just like when you decide that I want to buy a new house, I want to have a home, I want to have a car. All of a sudden, once you make that decision, you start seeing houses everywhere. You start seeing the car that you want everywhere. The reality, those cars and those houses were always there. But because now your mind and your focus now, your attention is on one thing, you start attracting the same thing, in your day-to-day. You go out, you go for a walk, you start seeing the car that you want. You go out for a walk, you see the beautiful house that you always wanted, But you need to have an image and a picture that you hold in your mind. Before you start constructing your board, take some time to consider what general message you want your board, your vision board to convey. For example, when you look at your vision board, you would like to feel calm, inspired, energized, happy. So those are things that you have to consider. Whatever you put on your vision board, make sure that they are words that relate and align with your goals. And those words need to have a positive kind of message. No, you don't put words that will not, trigger your subconscious mind to believe in the achievement of your goal. Some people don't mind, a little clutter and disarray on the board, but some people like putting, nice, some color everywhere on the vision board. It's all up to you. You just need to decide how you want to structure your vision board, with which image that will be appealing to you, that will call into your feeling to believe and see your dream as accomplished. Now, most of the time, people have questions as to how many vision board can I have? Actually, today, I remember one day talking to one of my colleagues. She had an application on her phone for a vision board. So it depends. You know, you can have a vision board in your office. You can have a vision board in your house, and you can have a vision board on your phone. So whatever vision board you have in the different location, it still has to keep the same message that is aligned to your goals, you know. And of course, your vision board, you can make it by, you know, taking materials from magazines, you know. You can get some pictures from the internet, you print them and cut them in a way that you can fit them in your vision board. So for some people, when they have to do a vision board, it's a ritual. So some people may decide to, you know, have friends around or put some nice music just to, you know, feel themselves in that atmosphere of achieving the goal. So it depends on the choice that you have. Add affirmative word or phrases, you know. Like I've said, you can add quote, you can add anything that inspire you, because that's what you need. You need to be 100% aligned with your goals. You need to be experiencing and thinking and doing anything that is aligned with your goal. That's how you're going to make it a reality. You cannot allow space for negativity in this process. That's why visualizing it, it's the best way, because you seeing it, it completely reprogram your subconscious mind that this is what I am going to achieve, or this is what I'm achieving, you know. Once you have created your board, make a list of things that you can start doing right now to live in alignment with the intention and wishes that you have just outlined. The great things about living intentionally is that you don't have to wait for external things to change in order to create success. You can choose to feel how you want to feel right now. And that is one of the mistakes that most people do. So I will feel happy only when I'm driving this car. I will feel happy when I change my job. Or I will feel happy when I get married. Well, I will feel happy when I meet this guy. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to work on your inside and believe that you already have those things before they materialize and you see them in the physical realm. Our life course change, and so should your vision board. So as we go along in life, the vision board that you had for this year may change next year, depending on the goal that you have set yourself for next year. You know, so you must be flexible enough to change your vision board. It can't be the same vision board. So you can change it to next year. If there is a goal that you haven't achieved, then you can keep that picture because you still want to hold that picture of that thing that you want. And you need to place the vision board in a place that would, you know, bring your attention. If you have an office, make sure that you put your vision board somewhere that you can see it. Now, the question that you have to ask yourself is, you need to put some sort of frequency. How often do you want to look at the vision board? I would suggest that you do it as much as you can during the day. Look at your vision board. Remind yourself of what you want to achieve this year and what you want to achieve in terms of your purpose and your life. So I think I need to read for you because I've got something here. I've got some interesting quote that I took about visualization from Brian Tracy, who wrote about setting goals. I'm just going to read them to you, so at least it can also help you in this exercise. So there are 4 parts in visualization that you can learn and practice to assure that you use this incredible power to its best advantage all of the days of your life. The first part is how often. The first aspect of visualization is frequency. Frequency refers to the number of times that you visualize a particular goal as achieved, or yourself performing in an excellent way in a particular event or circumstances. The more frequently you repeat a clear mental picture of your very best performance or result, the more rapidly it will be accepted by your subconscious mind, and the more readily it will appear as part of your reality. The second part, how long are you going to hold that image? So the second element of visualization is the duration of the mental image. Duration refers to the length of time that you can hold the picture in your mind each time you replay it. When you deeply relax, you can often hold a mental picture of yourself performing at your best for several seconds and even several minutes. The longer you can hold your mental picture, the more deeply it will be impressed into your subconscious mind, and the more rapidly it will express itself in your subsequent performance. The third part is how clearly you can see your visualization. There is a direct relationship between how clearly you can see your desired goal or result in your mind and how quickly it comes into reality. This element of visualization is what explains the power of the law of attraction and the law of correspondence. The vividness of your desire directly determines how quickly it materializes in the world around you. The third element, how intensely. The intensity of a visualization refers to the amount of emotion that you attach to your visual image. In reality, this is the most important and powerful part of the visualization process. Sometimes, if your emotion is intense enough and your visual image is clear enough, your goal will immediately come true. So that is an extract from Brian Tracy. And I also like what he says. You know, the successful person visualize and hold the right image about his life and what he wants to achieve. The unsuccessful person hold the image of failure, the image of anything that is wrong with him, and therefore they never achieve anything. So thank you very much for this time to to improve yourself and learn a little bit about the vision board. As I've said in the beginning, my job as a coach, as a speaker, as a trainer is to help people to become a better version of themselves. So for some of you who would like to find out more about Didier, you can go on my website, which is www.leadinfluencepty.com, and choose whatever course or training that you would like to have where I can help you to become a better version of yourself. Thank you. So now I'm going to open up to questions. Okay, anyone with a question in relation to the vision board?
Thank you, Didier, for the presentation. I think I understand what it is aiming to achieve and what is teaching us. I concur with it very much, but I just got a bit of a challenge on it, especially using it. It's not as a challenge, maybe it's a personality thing. Maybe I might need help on that. You know, when we were young and you saw a girl that you were interested in, the vision you get there is so powerful, very powerful, that I can't even compare to maybe thinking of buying a Bosch car and all that. It's so real to the extent that when I think about it, even in the middle of the night, I hope Candy was not going to bother me with this. You see what I'm trying to compare with, to say that is so real and it's powerful. The problem, I can't have it on maybe when I want to buy a Bosch car. The only time I think I start having that maybe strong attraction to it, or when you think of buying a car or maybe doing a business, is when you really start taking steps towards it. There you can start visualizing. Let's say I want to buy a car maybe in 6 years' time, then I start saving. There I can start having a visual board. I put it on there and I'll be thinking about it. This car I could go to the garage, whether once a week or twice a week, just to see the image of that car. And maybe, and you, like you were saying, you start seeing more of those cars as you move around and all that. So it becomes so real. But to me, like I'm saying, it only becomes so real when I start taking steps to achieving that thing that I want to really to acquire, or to whatever you want to do with it. Then it becomes real, that even when you put pictures, let's say if it was a girl, when you see that picture, definitely things around you will change, the environment will change, the atmosphere will change. But it doesn't happen the same when you're talking about I want to buy a Porsche car. Yeah, I've seen it, it's so nice and all that. But as long as I've not maybe put $100 or $100 or whatever as a step that I really want to achieve it, it doesn't really stick in my mind. I think that's where the challenge is.
Okay. No, but that's a good question, and that is one of the things that most people experience. Including myself in the beginning when I used to do this, it was a bit of a challenge. So the question that always trigger you is the how, okay? Because the reality is, you can dream of anything in life. You can see yourself being on a palace or anything in life. The question that you have that always stop people from dreaming is the how, because you have been told from a certain age that for you to do something, you need to know how you're going to do it. Okay? Now, that thinking is the one that I've been saying in the beginning that need to be reprogrammed, because the how has never been your business. In reality, anything that you have today is because you hold an image of it to some extent. You cannot tell me if today you are in South Africa, it's because one day you hold that image. I will tell you about me. I used to be in DRC, and I used to have an image of me being in South Africa. I remember that vividly, that I am going, and I remember that time I was thinking about going in Canada. But I had this strong image in my mind that my life will be settled in South Africa. I did not know how to explain that to people. And I remember even telling my mom when I was taking my flight, because the idea was I would stop in South Africa, then from South Africa I would go to Canada. But I told my mother that I feel that my life is going to be in South Africa. I did not know how to explain that. Okay? So we have always, if we allow our imagination to come back, because that's what I was trying to explain. As a younger child, we use our imagination, we think of it. Now, when we go to school, unfortunately, those teachers of ours shut down that imagination. Because once you start talking about what you imagine of your life, they tell you that you are a fool. You don't. Who do you know in your family have actually achieved this? So that's where our imagination faculty, is shut down. But the reality, it's still there. You can recall your faculty, your imagination faculty. Because, like I've said, there is nothing that you're going to achieve in life if you cannot call your imagination into play. The job that you have, the wife that you have, everything that you have, I'm sure all of you on this call can recall one day when you have pictured yourself that I'm going to have a house like this in this location. I will have a car like this in this location, and it happened. So it means that it's not something that cannot be done. It can be done. It's just that you need to reprogram your mind to understand that I don't need to know how. I just need to have an image that I hold every day about what I want. And I think for some of you who are on this call, we were supposed to have a class on Thursday about the imagination. And in that chapter, Napoleon Hill basically say, what a man conceive or believe, he will make it happen. So in that chapter, there is a story of a preacher who wanted to raise $1 million. He didn't know how he's going to make it happen. But he just hold that image long enough. It took him 2 years. For 2 years, he did not take actions, unfortunately. And the day he decided to act upon it, immediately he had an idea that he need to call the radio people and hold and have a ceremony where he's going to raise the money. And because he held that image long enough, he wrote the sermon. And when he delivered the sermon, one person in the room decided to give him the $1 million that he was looking for. So that illustrates to you that you don't need to know. What you need is to impress your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is the one that will translate your dream into reality. The creativity will come once you start focusing on the thing that you want. You will find and imagine ways of making them happen. And when you start imagining things, that's where you're going to get your breakthrough. That's where you're going to get your idea that will generate the $1 million or the $200 million, because everything starts with an idea. So you need to put yourself in that space, because if you don't put yourself in that space, it means that your mind, that the image that you hold every day, will not be the image that will be conducive for you to achieve your goal. I hope I'm making sense when I explain that, Munya.
Yeah, it's clear. Thanks.
Any other concern for anyone? Candy, Sayo?
From my side, I just want to thank you, Lord, for this precise presentation. You've actually crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. It came quite to life. Looking at some of the things I've also tried to do before in my life. Unfortunately, the image I had was in my mind. It wasn't on the board. But of course, from this now, I think I will take it a little further. By or any other thing that I need to do in the future. I would not only just keep them in my mind, then I can also visualize them and put them on a board. But even though they were not on the board, I can see that a lot of them, because those image keep coming to my mind each time, I think about doing such a thing. And I see that, a lot of them were achieved. So, taking it further, by visualizing it, pasting it, having them as a visual image, I believe, well, this will be to be a step further, to also help me achieve my goal.
Because you see, what is very important to remember here, if you don't hold the right image, you will hold the wrong image, which will not bring the desired result. Are we all together? Because that's what it is. If the image that you hold is not a good one, you're going to end up in either failure or an unsuccessful person. So if you hold the right image, you will get also what you want. So the choice is yours. And I know, like I've been saying, these discussions that we are having, these webinars, it's about things that are usually unfamiliar. And because you have been told so many things, how success should be, you kind of being restless because you're fighting with yourself. But the reality is you have to adopt those practice, because many people do that and they are very successful. And companies that we work for, they have a visualization board. Sayo, Candy, Munya, for those or all of us who work for company have a way of visualizing the goal. They keep our mind constantly thinking about the goal of the company. Why are they doing that? Because there is a psychological effect, because we think through image that we hold.
Yeah, I think on my part, firstly, thank you so much for the webinar. On my part, I'm one of those people that believes in a vision board. I have one. And on that vision board, I sort of broke it into sections. So there are some things in there that I wanted to do on a personal front, and then there were some things that I wanted to do on a career front. I must confess, there was a time when I was super obsessed with my vision board, and every time I've achieved something, I will put a date next to it. The only thing that I have noticed of late, and when I say of late, I think in the last 2 years, is that the process in which the achievements on what is on my vision board seems to be taking longer. And I think my personal challenge has been not to give up, not to be frustrated, but to keep looking at my board and keep wanting and keep achieving. So if I had to ask a question to you, I think it would be in line with the people that have got vision boards. When you start off like me, where you put it there, it's working, some of the things are being achieved, then you hit a point where you sort of flatline. And the achieving of those things are a bit difficult. How do you keep yourself going? How do you keep the momentum? Is there any advice you can give on that?
Okay, good question. Also, yes, it's true. I mean, we like you said. I mean, you can have a vision board this year, and then you achieve most of the things that you put there, and then next year you have a vision board, and it seems like you may be reaching 2 out of 5 goals, and the rest of the goals have not been achieved. Now, the question that you always have to ask yourself is, how have you been feeling about achieving some of those goals in your vision board? Because the reality is, you are not there to set a timing and say, yes, you can put a time, but the reality is there are other factors that can stop the thing for becoming a reality, which may be out of your control. Okay, but you need to keep being consistent, because the fact that you don't see it now doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Because once you drop the momentum, you stop looking at your vision board. What it means that now you're allowing yourself to hold other images that are not conducive to you achieving the goal and the dream that you have. So I will strongly encourage, regardless of what is happening, if it's taking longer, we are here to understand that we have a law of gestation. The law of gestation is just basically that there is a timing and a process for something to appear. The time and effort that you put in into visualizing your goal, doing daily self-affirmation, writing your goal, rewriting them every day, for instance. There is someone that actually says that there's a power in writing your goal every day in a paper or a journal, writing them so you can re-emphasize and being clear in terms of your goal. The more you do it, because the point here is what? Is to bring you into alignment with whatever you want. And the only way you get to that alignment is by you feeling it, and you feel it through visualization, saying it, listening to yourself, talking about the same goals over and over. It becomes a reality. Once you start feeling it, the timing should not be something that will stress you. The timing is up to the universe, for those who believe in the universe, and the timing belongs to God. So you just need to do what you need to do, and the rest, the how, which is the how, you leave it to God. Someone's life can change in a minute. And you know that, Kendi. It's not a matter of time. Your timing, things can change just by you being introduced to someone. It's a breakthrough. So you, as long as you keep holding that image, you will still believe that it's going to happen. Once you drop and stop looking at your vision board, what's going to happen? You're now going to hold the wrong image, which is the image of, failure, whatever image you're going to hold, it's not going to help you to also feel, because you need to feel. How do you feel if you can't see? You need to see the things that you really want. And again, I have to urge you that it's not easy. Nobody says it's going to be easy. Because for people, they think that, okay, once I get a vision board, I put it there, I look at it every day, it's going to happen. Just in the presentation, I say, visualizing is one thing, feeling it, it's also an important element, especially for your subconscious mind. Because your subconscious mind is impressed by you feeling that I am now in possession. And this is what exactly the Bible and God expect us to do as a Christian. God says, faith is the definition, is defined in Hebrew 11:1 as the substance of things we hope for, the evidence of things unseen. So you need to put yourself in that space where you feel it, you believe that it's done, then it's going to be done. Anything that we discuss most of the webinar, especially the goals and this, it's about faith. You need to have faith that I will achieve the goal. Because if you don't have faith, the goal will never materialize. You will not even feel that you can achieve the goal. I hope I have answered your questions, Candy.
Yes, you have. Just maybe one more from my side. In terms of the vision board, the way I've taken a vision board and the way I've understood a vision board from my own point of view is that I have put, I guess there are goals at the end of the day, but I've put goals that are really big and long, that I know are going to take me a longer period of time to achieve. So I'll give you an example of, like I've visualized stuff that I want for my kids. And that's a long-term process. So, I've sort of put it in one bracket, but broken it down into three. So when the first one was achieved for me, as the person who put down that vision and put down that, I ticked it off. So now my question, and the reason why I've given you that example, it's leading to the question, which is a vision board. Should it be focused on things that are really long-term, or should it be just anything that you can put on a vision board? Because for my vision board, I can share with you now, I've had this vision board from I've had this vision board from 2010. So
Okay.
there are things on that vision board that I listed, like I said, which I broke down, and I have ticked off as I achieve. So when I say to you that, when I started it in 2010, there are some things that they were very far-fetched for me. I thought, oh my God, how am I going to do it? But the more I looked at it, the more I did it, I achieved these things, which you were very right. I agree with you that when you want something so badly and you visualize it, it's amazing how that's the only thing that you see. Wherever you go, whatever it is that you're doing, it's the first thing that your eyes are attracted to. You get to see it. So that was done. But like you say, in the last 2 years, for me, it's been so, I don't want to say blanked out. I'm being very careful the words I use here. It's just been so hard to achieve anything that doesn't seem to be a light at the end of the tunnel. So thank you for your answer. But now I'd like you to just sort of answer, would a vision board be short-term, big-term, big dreams? What's exactly a vision board? And I'm asking because you said, you can create a vision board today, this year, and then you create another one next year. So what's the definition of a vision board?
Okay, good question. So the reality is the vision board need to be updated and revised. I put it in one of my slides. So whatever goal that has been ticked off that you have achieved, you remove it from your vision board. Now you keep updating your vision board because this year you have goals. This year I have goals. So I need to be in that space where I only look at the goals that I have for this year. The long-term goals, let's say I want my company to be generating over 500 million rand. This is a long-term goal, or 200 million rand. This is a long-term goal. That we can put it somewhere in the vision board just as a long-term goal, but the concrete goal that I need to be achieved this year need to be the focus area, because that's where your focus needs to be. Otherwise, you become a little bit, kind of a bit lost, not really lost, but you can, because the vision board, it's up to you how do you put it. But what I would suggest, immediate goals, like the one that you have set for this year, need to be on your vision board. The long term can still be there as long as you have space, but put those that are immediate. So at least every day when you wake up, you align your emotions, your visualization to the things that need to be done this year. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, you have. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like just to add on that one, to say maybe it's also advisable to say you might have a long-term goal, but that long-term goal, it doesn't have to be, let's say after 5 years, bang, it's there. You can break it down so that you take steps. So you can annualize that, so that in achieving that long-term goal, you start with short-term goals or annual goals that you can achieve, but they are all geared to achieve that long-term goal. So it might help. So it might not really be the full one, but what I'm saying, you are taking some medium-term, short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals as a focus, but you do it gradually, so that every year in achieving that long-term goal, you got some goals that you are going to meet in achieving that long-term goal. I'm sure it helps.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because I think the goals that you're going to put there will always be aligned with the long-term goal, which is your higher calling, your purpose. So whatever goal that is there need to be aligned with those with that big vision of yours and the long term. Okay, any other question, comments? Okay, in the absence of comment and questions, I really want to thank you for the time that you have taken to attend this webinar. And I want to thank the people who will be watching this webinar. So for those who would like to find out more in terms of goal settings and achieving and the vision board, you can reach out to me. You can go to my website, which is www.leadinfluencepty.com. I repeat, www.leadinfluencepty.com. Thank you very much and have a great weekend.
Thank you very much.
Everyone.